Yo everybody, what's going on? My name is PBM or Polar Bear Mike. You know the intro, the good old classic stuff. Today we're just going to do a quick review of the 4.12 patch notes. These are going to be pretty short notes. When I say it's actually going to be a short video for once, this time it really will be a short video. Not much in here. The mid-season patch is 4.13 for those of you who haven't really played Smite much in the past, or if this is your first season. The mid-season patch notes are always huge. They're like just as big as the new season patch notes. So like how the first season 4 patch was just huge and like a 1.5 hour show, it'll be the same thing. So expect a lot longer video next. I guess next patch will be like 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, and there will be a lot more changes. But for now, just skins. Beamy Chibi Raw, this skin is awesome. The voice effects are great. Should go check out the VOD if you want to see that. Heaven Zero Hoyid, cool skin. Venus Aphrodite, this is from the Hand of the Gods card game. I think it's a card game. I don't know what it's actually classified as. I believe it's a card game, but this skin is from that, similar to how the Fernando Ares is from Paladins and so on. Elevate Ares for Dardes because he's a beast. Bloodthirsty. I was gonna say Bloodthirsty, but it's Nami skin. Blah blah blah. Dance emote for Izzy. Elevate Ward. That's probably gonna be pretty cool. Trial of King Hercules, if you're a big noob and you don't know how to beat the Trial of King Hercules, you will not be able to beat it because these buffs are insane. Then some good old achievements, some bug fixes. Stone of Binding fixed an issue where certain banishes would not trigger it. I don't know what certain banishes mean. I'm assuming it's like Kumba'at, for example, would probably trigger it if it wasn't before. I haven't really gotten a chance to test that, so I'm not sure if that's really a big thing. Then there's just some radius updates in the tooltips. God changes. Athena. Increased magical power scaling from 5 to 15%. Fixed description error that was miscalculating the magical power scaling contribution for reach. So the tooltip was previously incorrect. It's now correct when it was 5%, and it's now 15%. So it was a tooltip fix and a buff in the same time. This really buffs Athena from the jungle and solo roles mainly. Not really a big difference for support. It is a nice little quality of life, but a little bit of extra damage if you're auto attack canceling. Or not really auto attack canceling. If you're just auto attacking between abilities, Athena will gain a nice bit of extra damage. If you're a jungler and you go like Voidstone, Polynomicon, Athena with like Breastplate of Valor, that type of stuff, you'll get a lot more damage out of your poly and your reach proc. Artemis, actually some pretty big changes. Increased base health per level from 72 to 75, so a total of 60 health in the late game additional. Also starting with a few more health points early in the game, but really doesn't matter till late game. 60 health is still a nice change. Suppress the insolence, I can't speak, you guys know that. Decrease the mana cost by 20 at all ranks. This is actually a huge change. When you're laning with an Artemis, it's very rare that the art is able to use her clear and then use it again to poke between waves. You kind of have to save it for each wave, or else you'll go out of mana, or as most normal people would call it. In this case, you might be able to just spam it off cooldown and get a lot more poken, which is what Artemis was known for in earlier seasons when she was good. This might put her back to a point where she can be played. She honestly wasn't that bad. Artemis is an insanely good late game carry, and her ult is pretty good if you can like pin down tanks and then trap them in front of you. You can really burn them pretty quick, so good changes to art. Moving on to Kakalin. I really don't know much about this god or how much these changes affect him, but anyways, you can see a lot of text. I guess I'll scroll down slowly so you guys can read the text, but general, rage generation is now calculated at the end of all abilities. This means players above the berserk threshold who cast an ability will no longer dip below the threshold, gaining the rage for hitting that ability. So if you're like at 83, or if you're at like 85 rage, I think is when you transform. Before, if you were at 85 and then you used your 1, you would dip below it, and then you would have to hit 2 enemies with that to go back above, and then you would start getting the timer to transform. Now when you hit 85, it'll start your ticker to transform. You can use an ability and it won't go against you as long as you were going to... I don't know, it's like a weird timing thing, but basically, as long as you're ticking that after the transform goes through, it'll be fine. It won't instantly dump your rage and then give it back. It'll be like a net total type of thing. Anyways, I don't really know how that character works, so I probably screwed that up. Passive, Berserk. Fixed an issue where Kakalin was not gaining rage from allies taking damage. Increased the mana to health conversion from 10 to 15%. This is a pretty big deal if you're building items like Nemean or Breastplate. They're basically going to give you 5% more health than they used to off of the mana, so that's pretty good. Vent Anger fixed an issue where this ability was taken 13 times total instead of the intended 12. Just a little bug fix, also kind of a nerf, because you're getting a little less damage. And then Warcry increased damage from 100 to 360 to 175 to 475. Actually, a huge damage increase. Makes his level 5 power spike pretty scary. He can combo you a lot easier. And then increase the scaling from 50 to 65. These changes maybe put him into more of a jungle role, but overall good changes for Kakalin. Kumbhakarna Mighty Yawn decreased mana cost from 70 to 90 to 50 to 70. Doesn't matter at all. Kumba's still a bad god. Hebo. This is a crazy change, and it might make Hebo really sick. Water Cannon decreased the post-fire time to match the animation. So basically, there's a pre and a post-cast time to every ability. And if a god has a long post-cast time, that means that after you cast the ability and after the effect has gone out, or it's like traveling or whatever, you basically lose control of your character. You can't auto-attack, you can't cast another ability. In this case, they reduce that animation time, which means that as soon as you use your 1 as Hebo, you're pretty much going to instantly be able to use your 3 or your 2 or your alt or whatever. So it's going to make him a lot more fluid to play, and it's going to make him basically feel a lot smoother, and he's going to be able to do a lot more in a shorter time frame. Tier, Power Cleave, decrease the mana cost from 50 to 70 to 50 at all ranks. Nice little quality of life change, especially if you're not playing him in the solo lane. I don't think Tier is good in any role other than solo, and he's pretty bad in solo too, so overall, nothing too crazy, just some mana changes, pretty short patch notes. Like I said, I think the only changes that are really worth noting are the Hebo changes are pretty big, the Kakalin changes are just general tuning of a new god, and then the Artemis changes are pretty big. And then other than that, nothing too crazy, a little bit of a quality life buff for Athena and for Tyr, and then no one really cares about Kumbha. And that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the review, and get ready for patch 4.13 to make sure you watch Dreamhack and all that good stuff for competitive Smite game. Peace out.